Hi, welcome back to another video, another Starch Solution inspired what I eat in a day. Cooking for health, cooking for wellness, eating with mindfulness, making sure that we're having lots of high nutrition foods, low calorie foods, eating in abundance. And you'll see this week that, well, today, not this week, you'll see that I have made some really tasty foods. I hope that you try them all because trust me, these were all fantastic meals that I highly recommend. So let's dive into the video. So yeah, this is part of the meal planning pack that I've made to help kind of keep myself on track and inspired. Always trying to keep with that 50-50 plate, making sure there's lots of non-starchy vegetables in every single meal. And you'll see this week, these are the meals I've been making. And today I'm going to show you what Thursday and Friday looked like. As you can see, they're the same. I'm absolutely happy to eat that way. I like to batch cook and plan ahead. Certainly things like soups and risottos, and most meals, to be honest, most meals I wouldn't just make one. Very rarely do I do that. I always make in between 2 to 6 portions, and that way I can always have extras if I'm more hungry than I thought I might be. And I've also got a meal for another day, or I can stick it in the freezer for a day when I just CBA to cook. So yeah. This is today I'm going to show you the mung bean soup and the risotto. So breakfast today, buckwheat and oat pineapple pancakes. These were so good. So start by preparing your pineapple, simply obviously taking all of the skin off, and then you want to cut some really thin discs, some nice thin slices, and then really carefully just take the cores out of those discs. So just really carefully cutting little circles. So I'm using the buckwheat that I bought last week. If you watched my video last week, I thought I'd give it a go with the pancakes. So I added a ripe banana, buckwheat and traditional oats and some soy milk into the blender. And then onto a medium hot pan, I made the 4 little pancakes. And then after a couple of minutes, when they've just started to sort of set a little bit, I added on the pineapple slices. So they can stick on because it's not set on the top. So then after another couple of minutes, I can start to flip them over. So you just kind of have to keep an eye on them. And also I cooked some broccoli this morning and just had some greens on the side. But keep an eye on your pancakes, and I would suggest just keep flipping them over, which I don't normally do, but with the pineapple on there as well, I just kept flipping them over, and I did them on a slightly lower heat than normal actually. And then to serve them, I just had lots of fresh berries and had some more of that pineapple and served it like that, obviously with the broccoli on the side. So it was a really nice, big, hearty breakfast. And I love nutritional yeast and black pepper on broccoli. If you haven't tried that combo, it's really good. And that was breakfast. Really lovely. Today I'm going to make another mung bean soup because the last one I made was so incredible. I am craving it ever since I made it. So as you can see, the mung beans are in water. They have been soaking overnight. So I'm just going to use it's really simple, just some stock tomatoes. We've got some paprika, chili, turmeric, peppers, broccoli, some onions and garlic. And if you're in the UK, I want to show you this. Just be aware, these look so the same. I don't know why they're making 2. It seems like a lot of effort for them, but this one is vegan. It says it on the pack. This one, they've put milk in it. I don't know. I can't see the point, but there you go. I've been caught out, so I'm just letting you guys know. Right, I'm going to rinse these and get cooking and show you how easy this is to make. And I forgot to say I'm going to use a little bit of celery as well. So into my trusted vegetable chopper, I added the celery, I added the onion, the garlic, and all of the peppers. Chopped that up so it was nice and fine and added that into a large pan. Added on top the mung beans that have been soaked and rinsed and added on the stock. 1 can of chopped tomatoes, and then we're going to add a ½ teaspoon of crushed chili flakes, a ½ teaspoon of turmeric, a ½ teaspoon of smoked paprika. Obviously give that a mix together. and cover. Cook that for about 20 minutes, at which point you can now add in the chopped broccoli. So that all goes straight in. It makes a big mess all over the hob and give that a good stir through. And then you can just cover that and cook that again for about another 15 to 20 minutes. And that is it. It's as simple as that. And this is a nice chunky soup. It's honestly, it's absolutely delicious, and it's really easy to make. I mean, so simple. And you could have that with rice to make it even more bulky if you wanted. But yeah, absolutely spot on. So for dinner, I made a mushroom risotto. Okay, I'm going to make a pretty basic risotto. You can obviously make risottos way more fancy than this, but this is keeping it simple. That's generally how I like to cook. So we've got garlic and onions. I've got a small courgette in the fridge, so I'm just going to use it. Obviously, stock and the risotto rice, just some regular mushrooms, and I picked up some nice shiitake mushrooms. If you've got some dried mushrooms, that would be really lovely, so you could use those. I'm going to add a splash of soy milk for a bit more creaminess. I'm going to keep it oil and butter free, of course. Okay, so I just roughly chopped the courgette, put that into the vegetable chopper. Then I chopped up my 2 onions, added those as well, and just chopped all of that up so it's nice and fine. Got the 2 garlic cloves ready, but I'm going to mince those. I added about half of the mushrooms as well into the chopper. I wanted half of them to be sliced and half of them to be very finely chopped. So I added the rice into a big pan on a medium-high heat and sort of toasted that for a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so. And I did add the garlic in there as well, and just kind of let that toast, just dry toast. I know traditionally you might do this in butter or something, but of course this is Starch Solution and trying to keep things nice and lean and clean and healthy. So toasted that off, and I did add a splash of stock, as you saw there as well. Then after those have started to crisp and toast, I added in all of the chopped veggies and a teaspoon of mixed herbs, and I just covered that and started to let that release liquid. And then as soon as it's starting to dry up a little bit, you can start adding the stock. And I used to think it was about 900 mils. It'll be in the description, but yeah, you can add the stock gradually as you would normally cooking a risotto. I probably did it in 4 different sections of just letting the risotto absorb all of that stock and then adding in a few more milliliters. So just kept doing this and let the risotto cook nicely. Then I took another pan and I had my white mushrooms and my shiitakes, which I just halved, and I sauteed those in a little bit of water just for a few minutes, maybe 3 minutes or so. And the reason I've cooked them separately is just so that I could control how cooked they get. I really just want these lightly cooked and then stirred through the main risotto. I find that if you cook it all together, it's absolutely fine, but it's just nicer this way texture-wise. Then a splash of soy milk just at the end, really, let that heat through, and that does give it a little bit more creaminess, and that's that. So not particularly traditional really in risotto terms, but it is absolutely lovely. You definitely feel like you're having a nice risotto, and it's super good for you.